मुझे अनंत किया है, ये है जादू तुम्हारा। जब एक गीता तुमने दिया है, नया जीवन तुम्हारा। कितने पर्वत, कितने नदी किनारे, बंसी के लहरों से पूछे हैं तुम्हारे। जो गीत गाए तुमने धीमे धीमे, किससे कहूं ये सारा। तुमने मुझे अनंत किया है, ये है जादू तुम्हारा। तुम कैसे यूं गाते हो मेरे को? मैं सुन के हैरान हूं। तुम कैसे यूं गाते हो मेरे को? तुम संगीत के जग को कर दो रोशन, गूंजे तुम्हारे संगीत से सारा ही गगन, पिघला दे पत्थर को भी जो तन मन, पल पल सर सर बहती सुर नदियां। तुम कैसे यूं गाते हो मेरे पर? तुम्हें याद रखूं, तुम्हें मैं याद रखूं, चाहे दूर हो जाऊं तुमसे, तुम्हें याद रखूं। कोई प्यार नया रंग छाए, मेरा प्यार कभी न धुंधाए, तुम्हें याद रखूं, तुम्हें मैं याद रखूं।
तुम्हें याद रहूं, तुम्हें मैं याद रहूं, चाहे दूर हो जाऊं तुमसे, तुम्हें याद रहूं। कोई ख्याल गया जो मन पे कभी छाया, मेरा प्यार कभी ना धुंधलाए, याद रहूं, तुम्हें मैं याद रहूं।
जो पास रहूं तुम्हारे, जानोगे कैसे ये छाया हुई है, याद तुम्हें याद है।
मैं जो आऊं पास तुम्हारे, जानोगे कैसे ये छाया कोई है, या कि मैं हूँ, याद रहूं, तुम्हें मैं याद रहूं। कभी पल के जो भीग जाए, कभी सपने जो नहीं आए, कभी कोमल पल सारे बीते जाए, हाँ मैं फिर भी याद আমি চিনি গো চিনি তোমারে ওগো বিদেশিনী তুমি থাকো সিন্ধু পারে ওগো বিদেশিনী ওগো বিদেশিনী।
तुम्हें जानो मैं हाँ तुम्हें जानू सुनो विदेश की सागर पार तो है उस देश की सुनो विदेश की सुनो विदेश की।
This is going to be our last song for the evening, after which we would like to talk a little bit about the making of this album, and of course Javed Akhtar to talk about the translation of Tagore, and then we'd love to hear some questions from you. It's a good moment to introduce the very, very talented artists on stage. Chiranjeev Chakravarti, a very talented classical singer, and we're very glad to have him on the album. Soumik Datta, Afterwords. It's also his music composition, and I hope at some point later Soumik will be able to tell you about the way in which he has treated the Tagore compositions, and we have retained the original music, as you can see. Javed Akhtar, of course, needs no introduction. It's been a great honor and a privilege to be working with Javed Akhtar on this album. It's also been a long journey because we've been traveling to different cities, different countries, getting transmissions down on the way, and at last here you are with Anant. So I hope all of you will get out there, buy the CD, get it signed, share it with friends, and support what is in many ways a collaboration to take Tagore to a larger audience. Sangeeta Datta, the very good afternoon. And all the way from Leeds, through Leeds to London, Al McSween, who's brilliant on the piano, he is on the keyboard. Another very popular Tagore song.
कौन सा वो दीप है इसको संग लेके तुम इस जग में आए। ये संसार जो है दुख से, दर्द से, मन का यहाँ पर झन झन तार तो है। संकट के भी गले किस ममता का तेरे मुख पर ये मुस्कान करे। कौन सा वो दीप है जिसको संग लेके तुम इस जग में आए। Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for this presence and for this hearing. Now it is for you to decide how successful we have been in our effort. Somebody has said very aptly that translating poetry is like pouring perfume from one jar to another, however careful you may be. You will lose a lot of fragrance. Now this was an advantage and this was a disadvantage. It's an advantage that translating Tagore is not difficult but impossible. But we can offer some kind of poor translation or substitute trials. On the other side, the advantage is that the basic poetry is so lyrical, so powerful, so romantic, that even if some fragments is lost, a lot will remain. So, you can, I have a lot of experience of writing to the tune because of my training I don't know how many people are there, but most of the songs that we write in film, and I have written more or less 1,500 songs, they are to the tune. So writing to the tune is not that difficult for me. But from where you get that phonetic which he has, there, I suppose, in any language, you will function. So, the other way of getting out of this great serious problem of the writer was to keep the language as simple as possible and while remaining true to the translation, to the original text as much as possible. So I can say that I use as simple language as possible. It should not have any pretension, it should not have any design from the translator. The translator should remain on the backside and at the same time be true to the original. I can, in my own humble words, tell only one thing, that I have not added to it. I have not tried to be smart with it. I have done it with total humility and surrender, and I have tried to achieve or gain that simplicity and that surrender that you find in his poetry when he writes that poetry. Now it is for you to decide how much I could do that. And I would thank Sangeeta for helping me in this and making it possible. Thank you.
I'd just like to add a few words to that and then maybe from it have something to say. The CD actually started at a point when Javed Akhtar translated 2 songs for my film Life Goes On, and they were both Rabindrasangeet. One was Soumik Datta, which you heard, and the other was separately a song which a lot of you have heard, and at some point it's sort of featured on the top 5 lists for many weeks in the city, which was good news. I think Javed enjoyed that process very much, and at that point he had said that let's make an album. And as I said, the album has taken a few years because Javed was a busy man and we had to travel and move to cities and places, get some songs done. But here we are, and a lot of these songs of course are, as you know, from Gitanjali. And in a way the whole album was ready and was produced during the Nobel centenary, so in a way it is a tribute which falls within that Nobel centenary for Tagore. I think the album is also a tribute to many others, because this is heartbreaking because you have such a prominent writer and poet and such an important poet, such a wonderfully talented, creative wordsmith who's done 8 songs in a row and compositely put it together in an album. But there have been efforts to translate Tagore in Hindi before, and I would, of course, like to place ourselves within that context where at least 60, 70 years ago, or maybe even earlier, the pioneer in this field was Pankaj Malik, and we had K.L. Saigal, we had Rani Devi, and they sang when the movies, talkies came in the late 30s. Then Tagore was taken to a larger audience, to a pan-Indian audience, and these were the singers who sang the Bengali songs, and these films which were made in bilingual form, quite often from new theatres and many other production houses, had Tagore songs in them, and they were popular melodies and beautifully sung by Pankaj Malik himself and K.L. Saigal. And I'd like to thank my mother, of course, who's been a great fan of Pankaj Malik and who really introduced us to this whole wonderful tradition of music through the 60s when we were young, when we were kids, and when we started listening to the radio. That tradition, I think, died out, that sustained tradition died out, but you had bits and pieces, and in between we had Tere Mere Milan Ki Rehna, which was a hit song, but it wasn't a translation. We've had songs in Paramita, which were inspirations, but which were not translations. So this definitely is closer to translation. And I think during the process, what struck me most, of course, was the way in which Javed would weigh each word. When he talked about every shop has a wazn, every shop has a certain weight to it. And to really understand the weight of each word, to look at possibilities, to decide what we're going to choose, what will be completely suitable for this line, and to bring it in with a sense of the lyric and a sense of the music. I found that very fascinating, and I think that's the reason why, as you have heard it today, it is not too far away from the original. It sits very comfortably with the original songs. I've been a practitioner of Tagore songs for many, many years, and I've lived here in Calcutta and trained with some great masters. And I've been up in Bombay and in London, and it's always been people responding to the wonderful lyrics and the compositions, the melodies, but always people wanting to know more about what this song was about. And so we sometimes read the English translations and then sing the Bengali songs. And over here, I think this is just an effort to really widen the audience, to make it more accessible to a larger and a newer audience. And I think Soumik at this point, talk about the composition.
Before you let me add one thing. Certainly I remember, I don't know why I forgot, but I'm not the first person in my family who has translated that. My maternal uncle Majad, who was very, very renowned, very respected, and very popular poet in his time, he died in 1955, a young man, and he was called as the chief Shelley of poetry and folk. He had also translated a poem of Gardner, and this translation is in the collection of poems. He has only written one book of poems, and he is known only for that, because of Aham. And this poem is also included, which is the translation of Tagore, and he has given that. I have translated Gardner.
Well, I'd just like to say it's an incredible honor to be working with the likes of Javed Akhtar and my mom. I don't want to say too much about the album. I would love for you to pick up a copy and listen to it. The arrangement work that has gone into it, all of it, the reasoning behind the compositions and the arrangement is exactly what we've been discussing, trying to widen our audiences. So there have been a lot of influences from other cultures, other musical references, whether it's orchestral, or whether it's rock and roll, or whether it's various other things, and the reasons those things feel relevant within the same context as Tagore is, because Tagore is truly universal, and he can speak to everyone at every age, at any point in time, but within the right context of music. So leaving that aside, I think we should open it up for questions. If anyone has any questions. Do we have a roaming mic?
There's someone here who raised a hand.
Good evening, everyone. While the translations were all extremely faithful, and I must say I was absolutely fascinated, I have a question about a slight technicality. While you have kept Videshi intact in the Hindi version, you changed Guni into Mere Bandhu, and while the original Bangla is a song of awe and slight devotion, the Hindi rendition has a slight playful note to it. So I want to ask if it was a conscious decision and why.
Had a slight what note to it, sorry?
Playful. It sounded a little playful.
So you're talking about two songs here.
Yeah, because it is understood in Hindi, Urdu, in Hindustan. When you will say Videshi, people will understand.
No. You changed Guni into Mere Bandhu. So
No.
Guni is not Mere Bandhu. That is.
Yeah, but as a matter of fact, Guni is not used in Hindi or Urdu in the sense that where the song is. You know, when you are praising somebody and you are saying there is certain element of romance also, not only admiration in Guni, but when you say this in Hindi, that element will not come. That relationship will not come. It is a quality where there is certain objectivity. If you call somebody Guni, so okay. It is like saying somebody talented. Oh, you talented. You are disconnected. There is no relationship. Oh, my talented sounds funny. So one had to find a substitute for it because Guni, if you translate Guni exactly like that, it will not mean what it is meaning in this word. You see, sometimes when you can take the right same word, that's the biggest privilege, like you yourself said, Videshi music. But sometimes what happens is this word is also known in the other language but with some other meaning. That becomes very dangerous. So you have to change.
In fact, just going back to that song, you said that it's a devotional song. I think you're looking at different words there because Tagore himself, when he translated the song in English, then he wrote, I know not how thou singest, my master. And that immediately becomes a sort of, song to God or sort of hierarchy is established. And we didn't want to go that route. We wanted to keep it where it is an addressal to, it could be someone in a spiritual manner, but not in a hierarchy. I certainly didn't want to hear or use a word which was close to master.
I am Dr. Gupta, I am ENT surgeon. I am very much overwhelmed by the beautiful melodious songs sung by Sangeeta Madam and by Javed sir.
Thank you, sir.
And just add one thing, that such beautiful songs, we should all listen at least 10-15 minutes in our daily busy schedule. It will really heal our diabetes mellitus, hypertension, what about it, sir?
Thank you very much, sir. Now each one of you will have to buy a platform. Thank you.
I'll have a really nice question and to Soumik. One of your latest work was with Rabindrasangeet and based on Tagore. This is again based on Tagore. When did we find you having a full-fledged concert in Kolkata?
I'll let you know. Find me on Facebook. Separate issue.
We are already connected.
Okay, alright.
Where are you?
Yeah, right in front. Good evening, Javed Sahab, and good evening, ma'am, and the rest of you.
Keep the mic closer to you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Can we get it louder?
Volume on them.
Yes.
Good evening to all of you. It was a beautiful experience listening to the translation. I have one small question. Although you said that it was not difficult doing the translation, what is your one memory or special experience you all have had while working on Tagore that is close to you all? Thank you.
I'll talk of, as a matter of fact, obviously we have taken 8 numbers. We love each one of them, and that's why they are in the album. And every song was a challenge in itself to translate to the tune, and with that simplicity and language which is required. But I'll talk of 2 songs, which are perhaps the opposite ends of the spectrum. One a very happy song, another a very sad song. To be As a matter of fact, in the beginning we had thought of presenting only 4 songs. I insisted, said, please, you must put these songs. Such honest, mining, and such clean, transparent emotion and pain, which is so very rare in the songs today. You don't get to listen this kind of sincerity, this kind of surrender. Today, the songs are egoistic, they are narcissistic, they are praising themselves, making claims, and so on. There is a song which is nothing but total humility, total surrender. A person who is in pain, who is not complaining. On the other side, Videshmi that she mentioned, I love that. This was the first song that I was introduced to when I came to know learn about the whole Sangeet and his lyrics. This was the first song. And I had heard him, I was watching him play the song from Kishore. So I have a special relationship. So these are the 2 songs that you ask me at gunpoint that you have to choose. So I choose these. At the moment you will remove the gun, I say all 8.
Good evening. My name is Gitanjali, and it was a brilliant evening. Obviously, thank you so much. You all performed very well. But I want to ask you, did you, Javed Akhtar, did you translate from the translations because you do not know Bengali?
Yes, I quite agree with you. I was very, very intimidated by that I don't know Bengali. But somehow I got correct because I realized that there are many people who translate while they don't know both the languages. So anyway, I have not done this work in solitude or sitting alone. I have worked with Sangeeta ji, and in all fairness, she should get a lot of credit for this, which I did. That every line we discuss, we analyze. Now she has total control over 2 languages, Bengali and then English, and thankfully I understand English. So she would explain the nuances of a few words, and then I would discuss, understand, and only then I would move further. So as a matter of fact, she was the bridge between my understanding and the work.
And another thing, you said you love the song Toho Mone Rakho, that
Tumhe yaad
rakho. But technically in Bengali that would mean Mujhe Yaad Rakhna. So you say
तुम्हें याद रहूं exactly that word. Exactly the same thing. कि मैं तुमको याद रहूं. मुझे याद रखना और मैं तुम्हें याद रहूं is the same thing.
Okay, that's going to be the last question for hand up at the back.
आपने ये देखा कि जैसे हिंदी में बात होने लगी मैं कितना कॉन्फिडेंस हूँ. Suddenly my level of confidence changed.